So this is the problem, okay? And I hope you don't understand this. I hope you don't understand this problem because we don't discuss that earlier. Okay. But if someone has hint, someone extraordinary who know C language, so okay, what is return zero? Return zero means Mayank, that we always use this at the end of the program. What this zero means that all the previous lines are executed well. Okay, let me give you an example of this. So
Sir,
this,
in this program, it's not used.
uh, what you are saying?
सर इस वाले प्रोग्राम में तो यूज नहीं हुआ है आखिर में रिटर्न
Okay,
जीरो
okay, so we have to use it. Then we have to use it. Yes, it is missing here. We have to use it. Otherwise, what is return zero? Return zero means these all the lines are executed well. All the previous lines are executed well, and we are sending the message now. Zero means successful. All the previous lines are successful. But what happened that suppose I got the error in this line. This is line number second, and I got the error here. So what will happen that this return zero will not execute. Okay, because we are because all the lines before this, they are not executed. So return zero is one of them. Okay, so this message will not be returned to the compiler that everything is okay. Suppose I got the error at line number second. I missed that semicolon, like, okay, I don't use this semicolon. I got the error. Then all the lines behind this not will be executed. So if these lines not be executed, then this return zero also not be executed. So if this return zero is not executed, so it means we are not saying that everything is okay. Okay, so Amit, if you are new, then start reading the books. I, I, I don't think you are in a. If you are in a WhatsApp group, are you in WhatsApp group, Amit? If you are in the WhatsApp group, then I sent all the PPTs and the book. There is one book, Yashwant Kanetkar of C. So I sent that book. Do you get that book? Start reading that book if you get that book. If you don't get that book, so I will resend it. It's fine, Amit.
I don't get books, sir.
Okay, okay. I will send that. I
Where,
will
sir?
again send that. Yes, today I will send that after the lecture.
In group, sir.
Yeah, in the WhatsApp group. Yes, the civil programmer group.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Or you can request from others also. If you are eager to get earlier, you can request from others. They will send you. So in that group, I send all the PPTs, I sent the book, and I sent all the flowcharts that we are doing in the practical. That materials is already sent to those who are earlier enrolled in that group. Okay. Otherwise, I resend again.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Amit. So those who are new, they have to now have some. You have to do your own efforts also. Okay, because we don't have much time. So what type
Okay,
of
sir.
questions are, Pranjal, that type of questions we discussed in yesterday? From yesterday, we are discussing that questions only. It will be more MCQ type questions you will get. Okay, multiple choice questions you will get. So let's start now. So what? So this is 8 is the output of this. So so if anyone knows how we get this output 8, Amit, you want to say something? Yes, Pradeep is right. Okay, fine, Amit. Pradeep is right. So if you find something like this 0 1 0, so it is the octal representation. So we discuss the binary representation. In the binary, what we do, we will say this is 2 raised to the power 0, this is 2 raised to the power 1, and this is 2 raised to the power 2. Okay. But in binary, if I want to give binary value, I will use something like b. So b means binary. So if I'm not so for hexadecimal, which is raised to the power 16, we will use the sign of x. X is hexadecimal, it means raised to the power 16. And for binary b, it means raised to the power 2. Okay. So if I say this value is, if you find b symbol here 0 1 0, so it means this is a binary form. And if you find a symbol like x 0 0, so it means this is an hexadecimal symbol. And if you find a symbol normal like this, a normal symbol like this, so such kind of symbol is known as that without x or without b, so it will be an octal sign. So it will be an octal. So what is octal? Octal is raised to the power 8. So if I'm having 0 1 0, okay, so we have to move from right hand side to left hand side. So this we got 8 raised to the power 0, then we have 8 raised to the power 1, then we have 8 raised to the power 2. Then what we do, we multiply these together. We multiply these together, and after multiplication, we add them together. Okay, in the, so when we multiply, so here there is no need to do calculation because anything multiplied by 0 will be 0, and we are left with only this one, and this will gives the answer as 8. Okay, so that's why we get the answer as 8. So is that clear to you? So that Mayank, that was I am telling to you na. So if you have binary, like if this 0 1 is, if you want 0 1 0 as binary, so b will be written here, which means binary. And if you want an hexadecimal, then some x symbol is there, x10. Okay. But for normal like 0 1 0, so this is an octal because b is not mentioned here, x is also not mentioned, so it will be considered as octal. Okay, fine. Okay. How we get to know? So that's I was telling to you, no? Right? That's I was telling to you. So if if nothing is written here, it means it is octal, and if it is a binary, b will be written, and if this is a hexadecimal, x will be written. If nothing is written, it will be considered as octal. Okay. So these things we discussed yesterday. So one more thing I want to discuss with you. These all we discussed yesterday. So now you know, know the if you know the, can you tell me how we get this answer of 1 here? Yes, yes, these types of questions will be asked. So can you tell me how we get the answer as 1? Just we have the AND operator, we have the OR operator. Which one has the higher priority? AND or OR? Okay. So let me also, I will also check. Okay, and has the higher priority. Okay. So what we are saying here, we have the or, we have the and here. So we have, for the or we have 4 and we have -1, and for the and we have and 0. So you are saying that and has the higher priority. Okay, so if and has the higher priority, so what will be the output of this -1 and 0? What will be the answer of -1 and 0? So what is -1 here? -1 is 1. -1 is 1 because I told you yesterday that if there is some value, then it will be considered as 1. Only 0 and space are considered as zeros, uh, and apart from 0 and space, if we give anything like 4 -1, so it will be treated as 1. So 1 means we get some value, we get some value, and 0 means we don't get any value, and space also indicates we don't get any value. So the result of this will be come out. uh, so this -1 is 1 here, so 1 and 0 will be 0. Okay, if this is converted into 1, so 1 and 0 will be 0. Okay, so you know why we are, what are the properties of and? Properties of and are both values should be 1. Okay, I'm Karthik, I'm repeating. For the and, both values should be 1. And for the or, this symbol, one, if one is 0 and another is 0, it will be considered as 1. But for the and, both of should be 1. So this is the property of and this is the property of or. Or means either one of you should be 1. Okay, and means both values should be 1. Then and will give the result as 1. Or means if any one of them is 1, we will get 1. So what was I am telling to you, Karthik, that if we have 0 or if we have any space, okay, so these will be treated as zeros. It means there is 0 means empty, uh, and spaces also means empty. So it is treated as 0. But if we have some another value like -1, 4, 8, so it means we got some values. We are not empty. We got some values. So they are treated as 1. They are treated as 1. Yes, Girish, you want to say something? Girish, you want something? Amit, you want to say something? You can type
Yes,
in
sir.
the chat box. Yes, what do you want to say?
Sir, how much lecture done before this?
Before this, we
How much
covered all
lecture
the
you have?
PPTs. We covered all the PPTs of Unit 1. We already covered all the
Okay, sir.
PPTs of Unit 1. And if you require that, I will send in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, sir. Send me after class.
Okay, okay, fine. So, what I want to tell you that we have -1 here because and has higher priority as compared to or. What is priority? Priority means that if given two symbols like or and, so and will be taken first. So there is a priority table I discussed yesterday and we discussed in the previous lectures also. So and will enjoy higher priority than or. It means and operation will be done first. If and operation is done first, this -1 inverted into 1, it means we got some value, and 1 and 0 will give us 0, and 1 and 0 will give us 0 because for the and both the values should be 1. So is that clear, Pranjal, right now? Pranjal, is it clear? So we have 0 and 0, 0, it will be 0. Okay. For the AND Bela, 0 and 0 will be 0. 0 and 0 is 0 for OR also. Okay. For OR also it is 0. So Karthik, that we will discuss now. Okay. So suppose I got 0 here. So now which operation is left? This operation is left, no? This one is left. We get the answer 0 here. Okay. And what is 4 here? 4 is treated as 4 will be treated as 1. Okay. So we have 1 and 0. The answer will be for the OR, the answer will be 1 because OR require only 1. So we get the answer as 1. Okay. Is that clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone? Okay, fine. So one more problem I want to discuss with you. Uh, so what will be the output of this? So we have OR operation here. So this value comes out to be 0. Okay. And when 5 is transferred to P and then 5 is transferred to R, then we have R is equal to 5 and we have the OR operator and we have Q is greater than 20. So Q greater than is greater than 20, it will be answer considered as 0 and R is having some value, so it will considered as 1. So 1 and 0 will give us the answer as 1. Is that clear to you? Is this clear to you? Okay. Okay, I will repeat that. Q is not greater than 20, so it will be 0. And what is happening here? We are transferring the values. 5 will be transferred to P. So earlier P has the value 10. Earlier P has the value 10. There is a memory P who has the value 10. But now what we are doing, we are transferring the value 5P as shown here, this part. So instead of 10, we have the value 5 because one memory can store only one data. If we provide another data, the previous data will be deleted and new data will come out. Okay, earlier P has the value 10. Now I provide the value 5 here as shown in the double circles. Okay, so P get the value 5. So whatever the value P has, we transfer the same value to the memory R. Okay, whatever what the value P has the value 5. We transfer the same value to R. So now P has the value 5, R has the value 5. So this is the, so we are left with this equation. R is equal to 5 and Q greater than 20. Q is not greater than 20 because Q value is 20. So it will come out to be 0. But R value is 5 and I told you that if we have some value like, then it will be considered as 1. Other than 0 or space, other values are considered as 1. So we get the value 1 here and this OR requires only 1. From left hand side or right hand side, it requires only 1. Okay, only one it requires. It can, 1 can be in this side, it is now in this side, or it can be in this side. Okay, because OR require only 1 to be true. So it got this 1 here. So that's why it printed the output as 1. Okay, so let me move to one more problem I want to discuss with you. Just wait for a minute. So this is the problem. So we have x is equal to 5 minus 3, no, 5.3. So this is the sign of remainder percentage. This is the equation given to us, and we get the compile time error. So do you know why we get the compile time error here? Do you know why we get the compile time error here? So this operator percentage is used to get remainder. This is a remainder sign, and we cannot we don't want and remainder cannot be in float value. This is the reason. We don't want remainder to be in float value. That's why this is a compile time error. So this is the whole uh, the reason for the compile time error, that this moderate operator percentage, it operates only on integer types, not on float type. Okay, if you want percentage, then both values should be of integers, like 5 percentage 2, so that is valid. Okay, but because it works only on integer types, so if we have a float here, it will not work. If we have a float here, it will not work. Is that clear to you? This is a property of this percentage. Are you clear with this? Okay, the percentage, which is the remainder, it works only with the integer values. If we provide a float value, it will not work. So what we have to do, either we can convert float to int. If we need an answer, we want to convert float to int. So how we can float to int? So in this part, what we will do, instead of 5.3, I will say int 5.3. So this is the conversion. So what we are saying, that convert 5.3 into an integer. Okay. So it this is typecast. Yes, this is typecast. So I think it can be either in this way, one of the way it is. You can yourself see what is the right one, or it in this way. So one of them is right. So here we want to convert 5.3 into an integer. So when we convert 5.3 into an integer, the answer will be 5, because 3 is a decimal value. So it will be 5 percentage 2. Now it will work. So now it will work. We have to typecast. Understand this? So how many of you want me to repeat loops? So if it is 5.5 also, Karthik, it won't work. How many of you want the revision of loops? Mustafa wants the revision of loops. What about others? Do you want me to repeat what are loops? If you want me to repeat, then type repeat. Okay. So now in next 15 minutes we will understand the concept of loops. Okay. So what are loops? So suppose uh, so I am in the first floor. I am in the first floor and I want to reach at the 10th floor. So so this is my starting point. This is my starting point and this is finish point. Okay. So so in between this 1 and 10, so I'm in the first floor. I want to reach at the 10th floor. So my starting point is 1 and my ending point is 10. So these are the levels that will come in between. Okay. Like like after I start from 1, okay, I have some work in floor second. I will do my work in floor second and come back. I go to the third floor, do some work, come back. In the fourth floor, do some work, come back. Fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. Okay. Suppose I want to collect something from some floors. I start from 1, I have to reach 10. And in between, there are some floors like 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I am having some work there. I go there and do some work and come back. So these are known as steps. Is these three things clear to you about the loops? Start, finish, and steps. Is that clear to you? Okay. So how we define the loops here? How we define the loops? So this is my start point because how computer will know that I am in which floor? I have to give some value. So I will give the value 1. 1 means 1 indicates I will. So this is the start point. Okay. So there is a memory which will tell me the result that where I am current now, and the name of the memory is now. Okay, so here it is written. It used to initialize the variable. Initialize means we are starting we are starting from 1, and now this is the condition. Okay, don't look that part. This is just documentation. So this is the loop. So what is the property of the loop? So while the name of the loop is while, and the property of the loop is it will keep on reversing. It will keep on reversing based on the condition. It will keep on working until the condition is false. So what is the condition here? Can anyone type what is the condition here? Can anyone type what is the condition here? Num less than is equal to 10. So this is our condition. Okay, or we can say that we define our finish point here. We are defining our finish here. Okay, until the value of num is less than is equal to 10, we will keep on rolling. Okay, once the value becomes if the value becomes num 11, then what will happen? This will break. You will this whole circle will break, and we come out to the next statement. Is that clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone what I'm trying to say? Okay, fine. So we gave the start point when we gave the finish point. Okay, so now what is left? Now what is left? We gave start and finish. What is left? Quickly just give me the answer. What is left? We have three main points. Okay, right, Karthik. Step is left. So this inner block. So these are the statements I highlighting in the orange part. These statements belongs to while loop. Okay, these statements belongs to while loop. These are the statements of while loop. Okay, so what I'm doing in that part, what I'm doing in that part, I'm printing the value of num. So what is the value of num here? What is the value of num right now? There is a memory, I created a memory num, and whatever the value stored there, that the answer is 1. So you can see here, I'm storing 1 here. Okay, and I gave the starting point, I gave at 1. So now what I am doing here, it means increase the value of num by 1. So this is my step. So why this step is required? If I don't use this step, suppose I don't use this step, so what will happen if I don't use this step? Can anyone tell me what will happen if I don't use this step? If I don't use this step, what will happen? Okay, so what will happen that the value of num will never increase. It will remain as 1. If I don't use this step, the value will remain 1. And our condition, this condition, our this condition, this one, this will be always true. It will never fail. So you understand this, why we need steps. If you understand why we need steps, then type yes. So if we don't use the steps, what will happen? What will happen if we don't use the steps? Number will not increase if we don't use the steps. Okay, so that's why the steps are required. So if I use num plus plus, the answer of 1 will be converted into the num value is 1. If I use num plus plus, it will be 2. The value will be 2. Okay, because the the memory, okay, it is postfix. So when we go back, okay, just a minute, I'm telling you. Okay, Bela, it is postfix, but just a minute. It is a postfix, but when I go back, when I go back here, okay, now this value will be incremented here. Understand, Bela? How we get 2? So we have the memory num. So earlier we have 1, and one memory can store only one value. Okay. So if I provide another value, the previous value will be replaced. So 1 will be replaced by 2. So is 2 less than is equal to 10? Is 2 less than is equal to 10? Yes or no?
No.
Yes. It is equal less than 10. So what will happen? Now the num value is 2. So this is printed. Okay. So it will keep on happening. 1 is printed, 2 is printed. So this process will keep on repeating until we reach after 10. After 10, what will happen? The value of 10 will be 11. So when this value is 11, so this condition will become wrong. Okay. And if this condition becomes wrong, it means we will break from the loop. The whole circle will break and we go to return 0. So is that clear with you? Is that clear with you? The while loop is clear to you? Okay. So there are various variations of the loop. Okay, there are various variations of the loop. but the three steps will remain the same. The three steps will remain the same. What are those three steps? Start, stop, the start point, and the finish point, and the steps. Suppose after 1 I want 5, and after 5 I require 10. So I require only these steps 1, 5, 10. Then what should I do for this? I require only these three steps 1, 5, and 10. Okay, yes. This line num plus plus will be, because we are changing the steps, so it will be num is equal to num plus 5. Okay, no, num plus, so here we are starting from, okay, we have to start from 0 for this. We have to start from 0, and 1 0 plus 5 will be 5, and 5 plus 5 will be 10. So the number of steps should be equal. These steps should be equal, otherwise it will work. If they are not equal, it will not work. Understand the steps. The number of steps should be equal. Okay, so now 0, 5, and 10 will be printed. So there are various variations of loop. So one of the variation is do while. So what is, how it is different from while? It will do the same operation. We will start here, okay, and we will end here. This is our finish point. This is the finish point, and these are the steps. Okay, but the main thing to note is when we go to do, when we go to do don't ask for condition earlier. Like while, in the while we have the condition. In this part of do we don't have any condition here. Understand this? It means if my condition is wrong, suppose the it requires value less than is equal to 10, and my value of num is 100. So my condition is false or true? If the num value is 100, so my condition is false or true? Quickly type in the chat box. False. False, because this is my condition. Okay, but this program, okay, fine, but this program will run one time. This will run one time, because in this do we don't have any condition here. We have condition at the last step. We have the condition. So this is the difference. So what will happen if my condition is wrong? Then this do while will run at least once. This will run at least once if my condition is wrong also. So if, so what is the use of do while? So whether, in spite of the condition, if I want to run a program at least once, then I will use do while. Output will be the same, Pranjal, if we use num is equal to 1. If we use num is equal to 100, then answer will be 100. Output will be 100 only. If you use 100, okay. So this is the main difference between while and do while. But you understand the difference now? The difference is, in the while the condition takes place at the end. Okay, but in the while, I am showing you the while also. In the while the condition takes place at the beginning. At the beginning. But here the condition takes place at the end. So If my condition is wrong, then it will run at least one time. So that's the difference. And there is a shorter form of all of this, which is for loop. So what happened in the for loop? The start, the finish, and the steps, they all come in one line. They all come in one line. That's why this that's why this is a shorter form of, if we compare all these loops. And one important point to note is how it will run. Is execution is not sequential. So I will show you the flow chart how it will run. I will show in the red orange part. Just a minute. I will show you in the. I will use some another color. Yeah, blue is right. So this the flow is like that. Understand the flow. First, I will be given value 0. Then condition will be checked. After that, this num will be printed. And at the last, this I plus plus will take place. This plus plus I will take place. So that I will tell you. So we have short of time, and so right now just follow steps. I value is 0. Okay. Then second, what will be so when this first step is done, I is given a value. This is a memory I. In the memory I gave the value 0. So this is the memory I gave the value 0. So after giving the value 0, this step will not be repeated again because I am done with my part. I gave the value. Now it all depends upon the condition. It all depends upon the condition. Okay. So is 0 less than is equal to 10? Is 0 less than is equal to 10? Quickly give me the answer. Is 0 less than is equal to 10? Yes. If it is less than 10, then what do we have to do? If it is less than is equal to 10, then what we have to do? Not. The third step is printing the value of num, not the step. That is what I'm trying to say you. The third step is printing the line. So what will be printed then? So what will be printed then? So here it is missing. 0 is printing. The first output will be 0. And what will be the fourth step? What will be the fourth step? Plus plus I is the fourth step. So this 0 will be replaced by 1 because I will increment it. So now condition will be checked again. 1 is less than is equal to 10. Now follow 2, third and fourth points. Okay. The second point is I less than is equal to 10. So is 1 less than is equal to 10? Yes or no? Yes. So now what the next step is? What is the third step? What is the third step now? Print it. Yes. Print is the third step, not the plus plus. Okay, this is the thing to be noted. Okay, so what will be printed? I value is printed. The num value is okay. We have to use I, not num is not there. It is I there. So we have to print the value of I. So I value will be, it is not num here. So there is a mistake here. So we have I here. So what is the I value now? 1 will be printed. Okay. And now our fourth step is, what is our fourth step? Plus plus I is our fourth step. So this will be converted to 2. So now again the condition is checked. 2 is less than is equal to 10. Yes. If it is less than is equal to 10, then what is printed? 2 will be printed. And then we go to the fourth step, which is plus plus I. So it will be 3. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you that the flow is different in the for loop. The fourth step, which is the increment, the steps like plus plus I, the steps are performed at the last. Okay, and the starting step, which is I is equal to 0, it is performed only once. Okay, because we have to give some value, we gave the value, and we now we don't need to start because we already started. Okay, why we need to start again? So I value 0 will be done only once. And then the second step is to conditions. Third step is whatever is in the loop, we will follow that. And the last step is the fourth step. This is plus plus I. Okay, and now we can have the last thing I want to tell you, that we can have multiple starting points, multiple ending points, and multiple steps. So these all are valid in for loops. Okay, here what I'm printing the value of a and b. Okay, so these all are valid. We can have multiple conditions, we have multiple starting points, and we can have multiple steps. So is that clear to you? The multiple steps, multiple parts point. Is that clear to you? Okay, that is valid. So this is one of the why we use loop. So this will be sum is equal to sum plus 1 I. Okay. So if I value is from 0 to 3, what will happen? I want to do sum of these 0, 1, 2, 3. So the answer will come out to be 6. Answer will come out to be 6. How it will work? We start with sum is equal to 0. So 0 plus I value is 0. Okay, because I value is 1 because we started from 1. So 0 plus 1 will be 1. So when I again use it, so it will be 1 plus 1,
It's two.
which is no, I value will be uh, no, it is 0 plus 1, and it will be 1 plus 2, and that
1
comes
plus
out
2.
to be, yes, because I value will increase now from 1 to 2. This I value will be increased. So it will be 3. So now after 3, it will be 3 plus 3, because I value will be, so it will be 6. So this is the use of loop. Understand this? We start, what we are doing, we are using the previous value of sum. We keep on using the previous value of sum in this program. And I value will keep on incrementing. That is what we are doing here. Is that clear with you? Okay. So this is the use of, because we want to do sum of first three numbers 1, 2, 3. So I n value will be 3, because we want to start from 1. We end at 3, the starting point, finish point, and plus plus I are the steps. So this is the formula, sum is equal to sum plus I. So I value is initial 1, and initial value of sum is 0. So it will be 0 plus 1. So this is the new value of sum, which is 1. So after getting this new value of 1, we are incrementing the value of I, which is 2. It will be 3. Now we are again incrementing the value of I, which will be 3, and it will give the answer as 6. Okay, so I hope you like this session. This is all about the loops. So here we are printing the final sum like 6. Okay, If you find any problem, then please saw the recording, or I will upload that recording.